Hello everyone, welcome along to this week's golf show. We've got two events to preview this week. It is the Canary Islands Championship on the European Tour and the Fargo Championship on the PGA Tour. And joining me to do just that is our regular guest, six-time European Tour winner, Simon Dyson. Simon, welcome along. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Did you have a good weekend?
I did, yeah. Unfortunately, not much football to watch after United Liverpool yesterday, but we won't get stuck into that just yet. I know you're a big Manchester United fan. It's probably another podcast that we could do. Let's look back at the golf, shall we, instead? And it's a win for a man that you've tipped up loads of times. Of course, you weren't on him last week, but it was Team Burmester on the European Tour, winning the Tenerife Open by 5 shots at 25 under par. I bet you're kicking yourself, aren't you?
Well, it's one of those, isn't it, that you knew he was always going to do well, but you literally can't tip him every single week. And he was always going to do well. He was always going to win. You know, we were messaging each other, weren't we? And I always knew he'd win at some point again. It's been 4 years since his last win. But he's kind of changed his attitude a bit. He put something on social media about how he's trying to smile a lot more on the course and not let little things bother him. And do you know what? It looked like it over the last 4 days. It didn't look like he had a care in the world, and he played some great stuff.
Yeah, he certainly seems to enjoy himself back near Africa, a bit of sunshine on his back as well. And well, actually, his second win, you mentioned his first win, that was co-sanctioned on the Sunshine Tour. This was a proper European Tour event. So I wonder if he thinks it's a bit of a breakthrough for him.
Yeah, I would think so. I would definitely think so. So I remember when I kind of had my years in Asia, and then I won a few times in Asia, and then I played on the European Tour, and I won in Asia again on the Indonesian. And it wasn't until I actually won the Dutch in 2006 that I thought, right, I feel like I've won a proper European Tour event, and I'm sure he feels the same.
And it seemed to really suit him, didn't it? Because he could relax his shoulders and really bomb it out there. That's what he's known for. And of course, it's a resort course. So the fact that he had so many opportunities to wedge it in really worked for him. He managed to roll the putts in. It just seems like a perfect week for him, perfect course.
It was absolutely set up for him perfectly. He putted beautifully as well. I mean, at the end of the day, you've kind of still got to get it in the hole, no matter how well the course is set up for you. And he did. He putted beautifully, and he got off to a really fast start on Sunday. 5 birdies in the first 7 holes. You know, exactly the start he was looking for.
Okay, one that got away then. Any others that catch the eye this week? The American John Catlin was up there once again, wasn't he? What a season he's having.
He was. He's such a good young player, isn't he? Really good player. You know, we've spoken about him. He's going to win more tournaments. He knows how to win. He's got that winning feeling, and he just looks a really solid golfer.
Okay, let's talk about the Valspar Championship in Florida too, won by the American Sam Burns, who claimed his first PGA Tour title. He's come close a few times, hasn't he, Simon? In fact, I think he'd been in the top 5 at the halfway stage this season on 5 different occasions. So it was nice to see him finally get over the line.
It's great. I love seeing people win for the first time, get the maiden wins. He had a lot of help from Keegan Bradley when, they were neck and neck, and then Keegan obviously hit it in the water. I actually fancied Keegan down the stretch. You know, I've played quite a bit with him in America, and he's a really gutsy, solid player. So that shot he hit on the par 3 was quite unlike him, to be honest. But like I said, it's nice to see a lad get his first maiden win.
Yeah, I guess with Bradley, it's been a while, hasn't it, since he was in the winner's circle. I wonder if that just maybe the doubts just creep in that he's not been here for a while. He's not been winning regularly on the PGA Tour, and maybe that's been a factor in the final stretch.
Yeah, possibly. You don't know what somebody's thinking, do you? When they're stood on a tee, he might have gone quite negative. He might have gone a bit too positive and took the flag on, you know. So it's hard to know, but there will have been a few nerves because it's been a while since he's been contending. But really good player, really good, solid player. I was impressed with him when I watched him.
And just going back to Burns, he was a great college player. It's been long touted that he would probably win on the PGA Tour. And we have seen a trend, haven't we, of late with the likes of Morikawa, Wolf and Hovland all coming out and winning from their college days. Do you think they're all inspiring each other, or is it something about the college system that gives them a big benefit, a big advantage compared to the guys in Europe?
I think it's a bit of both. I think the fact that these lads are seeing all these other college lads coming out and winning straight away must be a massive boost, because they'll have pitted their wits against all of these lads. But I do think the college system is just another level, if I'm honest. They're literally ticking every single box to get these lads ready, and they're rolling them out. They're rolling them out for fun. You know, you're seeing a lot of them come out, and they look proper tour players on the maiden years, on the debut years.
Did you have the opportunity when you were younger to go out to America? Do you regret it at all?
I did. I had an opportunity to go. I got offered Augusta. One of my pals was already there, and I got offered Miami as well.
Want to snap that up?
Yeah, I know. Part of me wishes I'd done it, but I thought the best way to play in the Walker Cup, because that was obviously my goal. I thought the best way to play in the Walker Cup was to stay in the UK and play all those events and still play for England and Yorkshire and Great Britain. And, you know, I can't say I did the wrong thing, because I played Walker Cup and that was my goal at the end of it. But I would have loved to have gone.
Yeah, it worked out all right in the end for you, so no regrets. Before we move on from the Valspar as well, just a word on Jimmy Walker. I'm not sure if you saw this, but he got a 2-shot penalty before his second round because he missed his tee time by a couple of minutes. I wonder if that's something that you or any of your playing partners have done, Simon.
I have. Oh, I can't even remember where we're playing. I think we're playing in China somewhere. And I've gone to the first tee and my caddy wasn't there. So I didn't know where he'd gone. So I quickly legged it into the clubhouse, to the locker room, and he wasn't there either. So I've come back out, got on the first tee, and he was there on the first tee, but obviously I'd gone to look for him, so I missed my tee time. So I got a 2-shot penalty. And thankfully I had a good day. I still shot 68 with a 2-shot penalty. So yeah, I got it out of my head pretty quick. You know, it's something that happens. I couldn't blame him because he was looking for me, even though I wanted to. But you know, it worked out. It worked out in the end.
Were you in contention? That would be even worse.
I was top 10 going into the last day. I was top 10. So to be 2 over after you've, I think I parred the first, so it was like a double. But then I got on a bit of a run and I clawed them back pretty quick. But yeah, it was quite tough to take. But I think I only had it in my head for probably a hole, and then I kind of just got on with it.
Yeah, I think 5 minutes is the disqualification, actually, if you're over 5 minutes on the PGA Tour. Has that happened to any playing partners as well? I think Rory, famously in the Ryder Cup, nearly missed his tee time, didn't he? But I think he met his wife in the process and shot a really good round that day. So it was a good day in the end.
I think he did. And didn't Elazabal present him with a massive clock?
Yeah.
Well, at the end, yeah, he did nearly miss his tee time, but he got his point, and that's all that matters.
Okay, good. Well, glad it didn't cost you too much either. Right, let's get stuck into this week's event, shall we? On the European Tour, first of all, it is the inaugural Canary Islands Championship. And like we've had on a few occasions this season, Simon, we're staying at the same course and we're going back-to-back with a very similar field as well.
Yeah, I mean, we previewed the course. We know it's a resort course, pretty wide open. It clearly favoured one of the longest hitters on tour. So that's kind of why I've gone with my picks for this week. You know, I've looked at who it favoured, and yeah, and one of the lads finished actually top 10 this week. So he'll be looking to go a bit better.
Yeah, I had a look at the last time as well that we had back-to-back events at the same course. That was in Kenya around 5 weeks ago. 3 of the top 10 from the first event actually finished in the top 10 the next week as well. So it is possible to carry that form over. But I wonder if, crucially, when they're in the top 10 the previous week, they weren't actually in contention. So maybe weren't as mentally stressed and tired going into the following week.
Yeah, exactly. Is that the week where I picked him a week late?
I wasn't going to mention, yeah, Daniel Van Tonde, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was. I thought you were getting at that one. Yeah, but you know, when you go, again, it's when you go to a course and you do well on it, you've got good memories from it. So I think the 2 lads that I've picked will go well.
And interestingly as well, in Kenya, it was the same winning score, 21 under par for the 2 weeks. And I'd imagine it'd be something similar this week, Simon. The weather looks good, so we should expect a birdie fest, I'd imagine.
I think the weather looks even better, doesn't it, than last week? So, yeah, 24, 25, 26. I would definitely think so. I mean, Dean obviously won it by quite a few, but yeah, you'll have a few guys in the 20s, I'm sure.
Okay, well, let's have a look at the betting then. You've got Garrick Higo, who is the favourite at around 10-1. Then you've got another couple of South Africans, Justin Harding, Dean Burmester at 16s, then the likes of Sami Välimäki and Laurie Cantor, Sean Crocker, all around 25-1. So that's a quick look at the betting at the top of the market. How many picks have you got, Simon, and who's the first?
I've just got 2, and I've actually got the favourite, Garrick Higo. Last 3 weeks, he's finished 8th, 1st and 4th. So clearly in form, young South African kid, hits it a long way. He's absolutely riding the crest of a wave. He's playing the best golf he's played, and it's the type of course that suits his game. So that's why I've gone for him.
Yeah, I guess the only concern about him is fatigue, because I think this will be the 4th week in a row in that stretch. And he did open with a 63 last week in the first round and then just tailed off a little bit, still managed to finish in the top 10. But I guess the benefit is that, as you mentioned, he's young and we're at the same course. He hasn't gone anywhere.
Well, that's it. He's young. I used to get these lads playing 7, 8 tournaments in a row. It's fine. Winning does take it out of you as well. He won a couple of weeks ago. It does take it out of you mentally more than physically. So it's quite good that he's had a week to play after his win as well. So I think he'll go into this week a lot more refreshed mentally and probably physically. It looks quite a flat course. It don't look that taxing on the body. And he's a young, fit South African lad, so he'll be fine.
Okay, well, nobody's in better form than him. That's why he's going off as the favourite. Anyone at a bigger price?
Yeah, I'm going to go for Australian, Scott Hend. Very, very similar game to Dean Burmester. Absolutely bombs it. And he's quite streaky, Scott. He's actually better than some of his scores. He's a really good, for how far he hits it very, very straight. And you see some of the scores that he shoots and you think, how's he shot that? But finished top 8 last week, tied 8th. So again, he's shooting some really good numbers. But I just think it's the type of course that really suits these bombers. And he's as long as there is out there.
Yeah, and something, a quick look at his stats from last week as well. He was 8th in approach and 7th in putting. So considering his strength is off the tee,
yeah,
that is a big advantage, isn't it? That all parts of his game seem to be on form.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are, if he can keep those numbers up there, you only need to hole a few more putts, get in a bit better position off the tee, and all of a sudden you're gaining 2 shots around, and then all of a sudden you're finishing 24, 25, 26 under, as opposed to he finished 17 under or something last week.
Okay, fingers crossed. He's getting on a bit now. I think he's 47, but the third of his titles on the European Tour was only a couple of years ago, so he's still certainly able to compete at this level. Right, Scott Hend, the second pick for Simon. Now let's move on to the PGA Tour then. We've got the Wells Fargo Championship this week. This event has been going on since 2003, and it soon became one of the favourites for the players on tour. And with just a couple of weeks to go until the USPGA, the second major of the season, Simon, you've got a great field, haven't you? The likes of Justin Thomas, John Rahm, Bryson DeChambeau, Rory Mcilroy, all teeing it up this week.
Really great field. It's a popular event. I was looking at previous years played and they all seem to play it. So they clearly like it. They like the challenge. It's a good test, is this golf course.
Yeah, let's talk about the track, Simon. Quail Hollow, isn't it? It's one of the favourites of, I think, the players and also the fans as well in Charlotte, in North Carolina. And as you mentioned, it's a bit of a brute, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit of a brute. Good finish. Really good finish to the course. Charlotte's a beautiful place, and the crowds, like you say, are always great. The course is in great condition, so I can understand why they all, pick this one in the season.
Yeah, interesting the winning score this week. I think they've got a sub-air system. It might depend on the weather, how firm and fast it'll be, but they can certainly dry it out. And we have seen the winning score in single digits sometimes. So it's tricky to know exactly how it will play. What sort of attributes are you looking at this week?
I think long and straight off the tee. It's tree lined. It's one where you can get in a lot of trouble, but if you're actually driving it really good, there's a score to be made. I mean, it's 7,600 yards long, which is a long course, and it's a par 71. You'd expect par 72s being like 7.5, and this is 7.6, par 71. So that just shows you how tough a challenge this is. Approach play, getting it on the right green, getting on the right side of the green will be key as well. And like you say, if it's firm, then it's obviously not going to play as long as that. But if they get the greens firm as well, it'll be really, really tricky to score.
Okay, let me give you a rundown of the betting. Justin Thomas is the favourite at around 10-1. Then there's John Rahm at 12, Bryson DeChambeau at 14-1. Rory Mcilroy is as big as 16-1 this week. And then there's the likes of Schauffele, Hovland, Simpson, Finau. It really is a great field. So how many picks have you got and who's the first?
I've gone for 3 this week. One of them's a bit of a unknown at the minute because he's changing his swing. But I've seen his record around here and it's phenomenal. So my first pick is Rory Mcilroy because I just think, do you know what? There's going to be a week where it all clicks, where the swing starts to feel right. His pitching's good. He's putting good. He's had 6 top 10s in the last 8 years around here. And he's in the last 8 years, he hasn't finished outside the top 22. So massively, clearly loves the place. I mean, it was literally screaming out at me when I was looking at the form sheet, just his form around here. So I bet he hasn't been able to wait to get playing this course and get some good memories back and good swings and good thoughts. And yeah, so I've gone for Rose.
Yeah, I mentioned his price is a big one, 16-1. He doesn't often go off at big prices like that. And if it does go well this week, he won't go off at 16-1 again for a long time. He has struggled, though. That is, of course, the negative, Simon. He's changing his swing. He's with your former coach, Pete Cowan. He missed the cut, the Masters, when we last saw him. And he's actually 15th in the world now, which is his lowest world ranking since 2009. So there are definite problems there. But you know Pete Cowan well. I'm sure it's going to click sometime soon.
Well, I know Pete as well as anyone. I was with him for 25 years and he never overcomplicates it. And I think that's exactly what Rory needs at the minute. Just something simple to work at. Who knows? It might take 2 weeks. It might take 2 months. It might take a year. But Rory's such a talented golfer that when it does click, he'll be away. He's off again. And we'll see the best of him again. And like I say, when that happens, I do not know. But we will see the best of him again at some point.
So I imagine you think it's a pretty good move, the fact that he's gone to Pete Cowan. He's unsure about what he's doing. I imagine he'll be getting on the right track pretty soon, you think?
Yeah, he'll just need it kind of breaking down for him, explaining what he needs to do and the process of doing it, all nice and simple, that he can literally go away and do himself as well when Pete's not there. But Pete's the best in the business. You know, his track record is better than anybody's, and he's got major winners. I dread to think how many titles he's won with players. So he's got the record, and you know, everybody knows he's a straight talking man. So Rory will have had probably a few home truths told to him as well, which I'm sure he would like. So I think they'll be well away pretty soon.
Okay, well, fingers crossed. This week is the week. Right, you mentioned 3 picks. Who's the next?
I've gone for Corey Connors. Again, playing really nice. 4 top 8s in the last 7 tournaments he's played. Just does everything really well. And I think this course needs that. I think you need that on this course. There's not a part of your game that doesn't have to be on form. And you look at somebody like Justin Thomas, every part of his game is on form. That's why he's the favourite. But this lad's been playing really nice. So clearly he's doing something right as well.
Yeah, he finished in the top 10 once again at the Masters recently, didn't he? 7th at the Players' Championship as well. So competing in really big fields. And he hasn't got a great record. I think he's only played a couple of times at the course, but that was a few years ago. He's certainly improved. And as you mentioned, tee to green, he's up there with the best at the moment.
Yeah, and you know what? You're going to find that when new lads come and play these type of courses, especially the tough ones, they're going to take a bit of getting used to. But he's a much better player this season than he was the last 2 seasons, 3 seasons. You know, so he will know that this would be a win round here would be kind of a step up for him. You know, like we said about Dean Burmeister, that win last week was a step up. This would be for him as well.
Okay, who's the third and final pick?
I'm going to go for Brendan Steele. He works with Chris Mason out in America. I know Chris, so I look at how they're working together, and they've worked really good. He's played nice. He's had 2 top 4s in his last 3 events. I know there were a few weeks ago, but just goes about his own business. I like what he does. I like what I see. You know, he's not the most elegant swinger of the golf club, but he knows what he does well, and he does it very well. And it's just the type of course. He's really good off the tee. Really good off the tee. So if he can take that into this week, then you'd think he could perform really well, because that's the first part of the puzzle, isn't it? Getting it in position off the tee, and then you can go and play.
Yeah, he's a big price. He's a 3-time winner on tour. You picked him before, I think. We talked about him previously on the show. And he was 3rd at the Honda Classic recently, which is another really tough test. So he'll be pretty confident, I would imagine, that his game is up to the sort of test that we might get. Fingers crossed that the conditions are right this week.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you mentioned the 3rd place at the Honda. That's a really good performance, that. Really good, because that has almost like a major field to it, doesn't it? So to finish 3rd in an event like that on a really tough, demanding golf course, this week's is similar. You know, it's a proper test.
Okay, good stuff then. Right, so we got 3 picks in America, 2 in Tenerife. Who is the best bet out of the 5, Simon?
I'm going to go Scott Hend.
Okay.
I'm going to go Scott Hend. Part of me wants to go McIlroy, but I'm going to go with Scott Hend.
I thought I could have sworn you were going to go Rory, but
yeah.
The big price, Scott Hend.
Yeah, what is he?
I'm not sure. I think he's around 60, 70 to 1. So,
right.
But he fits the same sort of profile as you mentioned as Dean Burmester. So,
totally.
Fingers crossed.
Exactly the same. They're very, very similar players. Just probably about 15 years difference in age. That's all.
Yeah, okay. Well, fingers crossed he can roll back the years. Right, looking forward to that this week. And of course, next week, Simon, we got our event. It is the Betfred British Masters at the Belfry. What are your memories of that track?
Do you know what? I think I played it a few years ago. Nice course, really enjoyable. I'm sure when I played it, they really tricked it up, and the rough was quite long. That is a prime example of a course that you need to get it in position off the tee. You can't be out of position. But I just remember I used to love playing it, because you remember all the magical moments from the Ryder Cup and things like that. So that 18th and the 10th, and yeah, really nice course. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, we're very proud sponsors of that once again this year. And the tournament host this year is a former Masters winner in Danny Willett. And we're actually hoping to get on the show with myself and you next week. So fingers crossed we can get Danny on and preview the tournament.
That'd be class.
So, and you go way back, don't you, from your days at ISM? So,
yeah, really good lad.
So we can maybe get a bit of needle between you two as well next week. Yeah. Looking forward to that. Right, Simon, looking forward to, of course, our event, but of course we've got 2 big events this week to look forward to on the European Tour and the PGA Tour. So good luck with your selections. Thanks for coming on as always. It's the Canary Islands and the Wells Fargo both getting underway on Thursday. So do check out betfred.com for all the latest odds and offers. And we'll see you next week as we prepare for the Betfred British Masters.